Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Renegade Interviews. I'm your host, Chris Whipan for Renegade Studios. We're here at Gen Con with Mijhalo Dimitrievski, but you may know him as the Mico, but that's not how you say it. How do you actually say that, even though that's what we all say?
It's actually called Mico, but I signed it wrongly once. And I don't put a lot of care there. So as long as in the papers I'm Mijhalo Dimitrievski, or in official papers that I need for transactions and stuff like that, it's okay for if you call me Mico, the Avenger, or Mico, or whatever I think it's best.
However, we can find you.
However, you can find me, but the proper pronouncement is Mico.
Mico?
He.
Okay, interesting. So, but I tell you what, it's great branding, because if anybody goes and looks for THEMICO, you're like number one in results. So you can't ask for much more than that.
I haven't thought about it, actually. I will Google it later.
You should. You pop right up. It's like, I saw somebody, a friend of mine, actually asked for your contact information the other day, and I'm like, one of the easiest people to find, actually, if you just do a quick search. But now I probably just gave a lot of people your email address, so I apologize.
No, it's really not a problem. If I don't like to reply, I won't reply. And I usually reply to everybody because, the way you speak, it looks like I'm getting 100 mails or 1,000 mails a day. Please write me, and please don't offer me $10 million from the bank from some country.
Yeah, the Nigerian prince has called, and he's okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. So, but what comes up first in that Google search is your DeviantArt page. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mico ended up doing all of the artwork for pretty much most of the Garphill games in the North Sea and the West Kingdom sagas. So, but you got your start on doing DeviantArt, which is just community-based artwork, right?
Yes. It was some time ago, I think. And in that time, it was popular to have galleries in DeviantArt. There was a lot of pages like that. I can't remember them all. But, I'm a little older-ish, than the most young people. But I did catch some of the old times before the internet. I usually tell this to my son when he is talking about graphics in the games. When I was little, there were literally no games. The graphics were some time after I was born, and the graphics were square or triangle or circle, firing rectangles in some object. And it was really hard in that pre-internet times to send stuff to some publisher or comics to some house. When we had a couple of publishers here in Macedonia, and I send them originals or some sort of bad photocopies. And it wasn't that good. You didn't get the originals back. The post didn't make to deliver on time. The post didn't deliver at all. They got squashed. I didn't get them back. And we got internet. When we got internet, it became easier. You could reach to the places that you couldn't previously. Mm-hmm. And as we do now with the Facebooks and Instagrams and Twitters, those DeviantArt and the other pages were giving you opportunity to show your stuff to other people. Because I don't like, but I do like when somebody say this is great, I like it. And you get mixed with the people that are very popular now, that are working in the business now. And again, I like to hang out with the people from my profession, and I used to collect art from DeviantArt, on the CDs, save images, and recording on this. I still do that. It's a little easier now, but everybody was using it, and it should, because it was a free storefront for the things you do and for the things you like to do. And as you said, I think the champ wrote once that he saw me on DeviantArt, and it is great. I don't think I upload any more stuff on DeviantArt, but maybe I should refresh it now. I don't remember my password, so we'll see about that.
It's definitely interesting because I've talked to many artists now, and I always think it's very interesting how they get into the business, because there's so many people who are like, oh, I want to do art for board games, but what you never wanted to do art for board games. What was your original desire for your artwork to be? Like, what did you want to be when you grew up, or what do you do when you're not doing board games?
Since I was a little, I only thing I wanted to do is to draw.
Okay.
We were living in Yugoslavia, which was country based with a couple of other countries. We are separated now, every country for itself. The state on the Balkan. Now we are in Macedonia, and we did have a lot of comics in that period. We have a lot of Marvel stuff. We have a lot of French, Belgian comics. We had a lot of Italian comics, and my first love was actually for the comics.
Okay.
I did have a lot of Disney comics. I did have a lot of Italian comics. And I always considered myself that one day I will become a comic book artist. And I started like that. The problem on Balkans is, drawing is not a profession. Drawing is a hobby. And if your job is to be an artist, you will starve to death, which is actually relatively true everywhere. But when you were born in here in Macedonia, everybody, your relatives, your parents are making plans. You will be a doctor. You will be a lawyer. You will be, I don't know, an officer in the army. Professions that are highly, that are on a bigger level than the artists in the society. He's a doctor. Oh, yes. He's a lawyer. Oh, he's a judge, or stuff like that. And those are, at least here, professions that go from the father to son, from mother to daughter. Like, if you have your parents doctors, you will be a doctor too. So being an artist was a little disappointing for in that moment. From and everybody was saying, you do the drawing, but you will learn to be a lawyer or a graphic designer, or to work in a print. But actually, I always wanted to draw, and I always wanted to draw comics and do those stuff. And I did. I was when my parents were thinking that I read or that I learn, that I was learning for school. I was drawing actually, and I was hiding because I was cutting the paper and I was using ink, and that's how I get the first money, which were very nice in that transition period on the Balkans, where we separated the states and the war started. The comic book profession, illustration profession, there is a big gap and a hole, because there were wars. There was no war in that period in Macedonia, but there were no comics because as it is now actually, because the people had the bigger problems to solve, and when you have problems, you don't really have time for games and comics and animation,
right.
Because you are really fighting for your life in the sense of being in the war, or in a sense that you don't have a job and you have to work to get money for food. And it was relatively hard because you don't have anything. We didn't have comics because the state was disassembled. We didn't have comics in the shops. I don't know, the street shops. There used to be a lot of comics. Now there was none. There was not actually internet, as I told you. And I really wanted comics, so I did have some sort of collection, and I worked on the comics. And when I was in a middle school, almost at the end, I get an opportunity to work for a student magazine, for the college magazine, which was very popular. It was called Studentski Zbor, which in translation goes as college. I don't know how. College stuff. I will translate it like that. And they did have one. That works, college stuff. And they had one page. It get out it was publishing in 2 weeks, and I did a comic for them. And the comics were very funny, and I was starting to get popular among students. And as I draw comics, I wanted to draw. You were watching a Star Wars movie, and I wanted to draw Star Wars stuff, and I did a lot of fun art. I still do. You're reading Marvel comics, and I did Marvel stuff. I did DC comics, I did DC stuff, and I was piling up some sort of portfolio. After that, I got couple of jobs for the how do you call them, the books for the schools, the school books,
textbooks,
Macedonian
right?
language textbooks,
Yep.
yes, from one publisher here, and I did a lot of stuff for them. And in one moment, this is actually very long. When I think about my job, it doesn't sound that long, but I'm very tired now to speak. I got tired. There was a concourse, or the animation studio from Macedonia was asking for. I think that they were looking for an artist, and I enrolled in that contest, and I go there, and they offer me a job. The only problem was that the animation studio that was looking for the artist,
Right.
it wasn't looking for the artist. Actually, the advertising agency that had not a single connection to the animation studio was looking for the designer. I don't know how I matched them. I still don't know how I put them together, because one was called Triple X, the other was called Idea Plus, the advertising agency, and I ended up in the advertising agency. I don't know how. The funny part is, when I got there, they actually hired a designer who was better in Photoshop 7 than me. She was way better, but because I was very funny and I was liking to work with the people, they decided to hire me, and I moved to Skopje for a couple of years, which is capital of Macedonia. And I got a lot of contacts there because, advertising agency, we were shooting movies, commercials and stuff, a lot of directors, a lot of screenplays. The internet was coming, the broadband internet was coming in that period. I left my job there. I started to work for the newspaper agency. They were publishing comics, children magazines. I was doing that. I will open my DeviantArt accounts and things like that. And I was living in Skopje, but I was not moving from my apartment. And because I got bored from Skopje, I decided to get back to Bitola. And actually, I'm still working like a storyboard artist. I'm still drawing comics. I'm still drawing books, but I'm doing it from Bitola.
Okay.
And one day I got a mail from Shem, and he was asking for drawings for something called board games. In the moment, I have never really thought about the board games. I knew the Magic the Gathering. I knew about, I think that they were called Decipher, the Lord of the Rings stuff, cards like that. I knew they existed. I have some because one of my friends brought them to me. And I knew about the Monopoly. But that was everything I knew about the board games in that moment. So, you draw cards and you get paid, and after that, you get mails almost every day about the other games, and you see what that by your side is product of that. So it's probably, if I cannot make a mistake with the advertising company, thinking that it's an animation studio that will be working on the animated movie, you will probably speaking to another person now.
Well, I'm glad I'm not, because you are always
Me too.
you're always a lot of fun to talk to, and I find it very interesting to think, how small the world's getting, that, a company in New Zealand who publishes in the United States, who has an artist based in Macedonia. I mean, that's just amazing, because now it allows you not just to be, Mijhalo in your town. It allows you to be everywhere and reach a bigger audience.
It is nice. I may tell you something about the global village, the big world. Again, one example from my life. which as I speak is not that small. I was teaching in film academy here in Macedonia for a year, I think. It was academy for film and stuff like that. I was teaching storyboards, and one of my classes, I told them that the same that you told. The world is a global village now. Every market is open. You just have to be a good person, and you have to be nice and keep with the deadlines, and you'll probably make it. The day when I was back from that college in Bito, in my hometown, there wasn't a power for like 2 days, and you see that the world, the global village, is ceasing to exist. You don't have electricity, you can't work because I work digitally. You can't send stuff, you can't work at night because you have no electricity, and you say to yourself, let's keep that global village world, no borders, everybody's happy, and and this corona thing will pass, but let's keep it low profile, just not to bring bad luck.
Yeah, it's interesting because I have very good luck with power and everything in my house, but right before we put on Renegade Con, I had a power outage that lasted an entire day, and it took out my cell phone, and I literally could not do anything. Like, batteries were running low. Like, I read a book and I built some Lego. Like, that's all I did. Like, because
we are taking those things for granted, but this situation now is showing us that when we're looking at photos from the last year, and we are enjoying the fruits. We haven't thought about it before,
right?
But it will pass.
Absolutely.
So yes, again, world is global village. We can speak now. It was impossible to speak to you or anybody else a couple of years ago. They still don't believe me when I think I mentioned it. Bito is a relatively small town. You have to be a doctor, a lawyer or stuff like that here in Bito, or you have to be working in a factory. And everything you work that's off the grid, what is Mijhalo working? He is drawing some kind of games on paper. Oh, he's a weapons dealer. It is not possible. Hey, can you draw me this? It's my kid's birthday. Can you draw me this massive battle? Rohan riders attacking Minas Tirith, destroying Gorth. Yes, it's for the press. Price, like, I don't know, I will mention price. He will say, you are actually expecting me to pay for it's just drawing. And it's relatively, but again, we are relatively poor countries, and professions like mine are rare, because here you have to work something productive in that global sense, and the art and the fun part is becoming more and more present now, but baby steps. So right. I'm happy that I'm contributing to that cause, because we are making people happy, and that is most important part.
There you go.
After the doctors make people healthy. Okay. So after the doctors and people in market, the person, the cleaner, we are somewhere in the middle.
Right. But still somewhat important. I mean, we're giving people things to do and things to interact with and things to have fun with. So that's what matters.
Especially when we are stuck in these situations. And I told to myself that while this quarantine, we are not in quarantine anymore, but I feel like we are, because we can't go freely and roaming right. all day outside. I will learn how to play board games. And I will play some of my board games, and I will play some of my PlayStation games, and I will read some of the couple of thousand comics I got in the meantime. I didn't do nothing from that. Nothing. like zero. It's unimaginable how can't I do something in 4 months? Which is worse, I got more games, and I got more comics, and I got a lot of more stuff, and I will leave it for the pension days probably.
Well, it's also very draining right now. So it just kind of sucks energy out of a room sometimes. And it's, it's hard to always be creative. I think, like, I know for me, I do some creative stuff. I know that that's early in the morning for me. If I tried to do something creative now, it probably wouldn't be nearly as good as if I tried it first thing in the morning or late at night. Like there are times, and in the middle of the day, I just find it very draining, and I'm not able to create. Do you have better times that are more creative for you?
The draining stuff about the things in the moment is actually the whole situation. I look at my profession, as a plumber. My water sink is stuck. You call the plumber, he is fixing it, it's okay. When I draw, I'm in often cases, I'm not very satisfied with my drawings. I usually get satisfied in a year when I forget them and I see them. I say, well, it's not that bad. It's actually okay. The draining thing is, the whole situation. You put on the internet and you see the numbers. You see close friends. You see people You see people in the other town. You see the whole situation in the world. And I think that actually the draining comes from that. When you're we have an invisible enemy now, and we are all people. We are not robots. When the kid is sick, or my daughter has to go to the school, and I don't know if she will be able to go to school because the whole situation. And you have bad days. I'm not speaking that I'm creatively in some time of the day. I'm super creative now in the morning. I will go to draw because it will wear out. But actually, no. You will get up in the morning and you say, "This is great. I will smash 2 covers and 12 illustrations." And you put internet on. You see the numbers. You see the situation. You understand about something in the world or in the neighborhood, and that. And you don't want to draw actually the day. Or as in my case, I am making beds for the balcony from those wooden pellets.
Mm-hmm.
For the I don't know what you use for heating there, but we're still using the wood stuff and those small pellets. And we have larger boxes. And now I'm putting them so I could make a bed for my kids in the night to stay on the balcony and watch stars. And yesterday I was doing that, and I don't do a lot of physical stuff, and I was killed all day. I couldn't draw anything, and just I will play PlayStation for 15 minutes. Then I will try to draw again, and it doesn't work. And you don't work that day. But if you ask me about the routine, I usually get up in the morning. They wake me up, because father is the most, how should I say, I'm not that important. When everybody gets up, they are coming to me and they get me up. We are usually taking a breakfast, we drink coffee. What you gonna do? And then I try to read my mails and stuff like that. If I have some, t-shirt design, one drawing for somebody, logo design, I will try to squeeze it till 12 o'clock. Then I'm precisely telling you what I do now in the day. Then around 12 o'clock, we are having a coffee in the park, away from people in this moment. I don't go to the coffee shops now. I don't need to, because I'm very likable and everybody is hugging me. How are you? So I invested all those years to be like that, and now it's not paying up. So I'm going a little further from people. I'm drinking coffee. That again, from the profit that I get from the games and the books and animation, I get a lot of money for not buying coffee in the coffee shops, and they are piling up. And when we get back, I usually that is probably the biggest part when I work, till around 6 o'clock, because we're drinking like coffee for an hour, go for a walk. And from 6 o'clock, usually my wife is having a yoga studio. We were closed until 1 week ago, I think. And she is reopened now. We told, you have to spray your hands, you have to clean. We are doing maximally whatever we can just to make people healthier first.
Right.
And, more relaxed to do while we can. We are waiting for the winter now, so we'll see how will that go. And the most prosperous part of my work is in the night, when my wife gets back around 8 or 9 o'clock. I usually do, because the people are getting home. It's quieter in the town, and I can concentrate more. But I think I don't work as much as people think because I'm relatively, as you can see on the boxes, I work relatively quick because I don't use a lot of pencils. I really try to look as natural as possibly in the drawing. You can see every brush and every stroke because I want to be relatively free.
It's interesting actually because one of the comments when I came on with Renegade and we said we were going to talk to you and kind of get to know you and do that. One of the things that came up was how fast you are and how quick. Like somebody will give you a request and it'll just it's like super quick how fast you get things done. So I've heard that.
I used to be faster, but when the projects are piling up, and I'm a pretty nice person. When somebody calls me, "Hi, my daughter is having a birthday. Can you draw her a pink pony?" Like now, and I will say, "I have 10 games to draw, an animated movie to direct. I will draw it. It's okay." Or when I watch a new Star Wars movie, or I read some new comics or watch new series, why should I work on these deadlines for the game that's due tomorrow? I will probably do some fun art.
So when there's a pink pony in the next game from Garpils, like we know that you're just like, oh, I see what's happening. You should just make a birthday game with all the art from birthday cards.
Yes. If you see on pink pony on the Facebook, you know that the next day you have a Garfield game cover.
Yeah.
Because pink pony. Now, joke on the side. I used to be more faster, but I'm getting old and obligations are piling up. For example, the book I was publishing a couple of days ago, some weeks ago, I didn't know the publishing is so hard. I'm just a man who draws, or popularly called artist. I just want to draw. I did have offers to be some sort of art director, creative director for companies, but I really, really, really don't want to bother with anything more than drawing,
right,
and eventually play games on PlayStation and reading comics and drinking coffee. Those are I like to keep it simple so I can, relatively enjoy.
That's a pretty good life. I'd be happy with that.
I may look like a dwarf, but I think that the Hobbit is probably closer. There is nothing wrong in the simple life.
There you go.
I don't want to go to trips. I don't want to go to cons. I didn't want to go to cons, and I didn't want to go to trips. But after this whole situation, when the things are settled up, and I think I will go to cons, and just to for the future, if we ever stuck again, just to have some memories and people to know in person, like you and everybody.
There you go. So you said you did a book, and if anybody followed you on any of the social media, they saw you drawing this book day by day, mostly on Facebook. And now that it's available in the US, I mean, it's going to cost as much as the book costs to ship it here, I know. But I still need to get a copy of it because I love it. You started these like quarantine drawings, and they're of you during quarantine, right? And how you felt every day.
I draw myself as a jackass so I can entertain the people. The ultimate sacrifice. There are few projects on mine in relation to this, but I really, really, really don't like to draw that stuff anymore. We are still in this situation. It won't probably pass. I did that. It wasn't planned to be a book. It was planned to be, I'm feeling like idiot today because, we are staying we had a curfew for like 2.5 months, right. I think. It was cool in the beginning, everybody's home. Now we watch movies. Now we watch series. Look at these games. Look at all these comics. Well, we have a lot of time. Yeah, I will finally meet my children. We will finally have decent lunch. Everything is great, except sickness and stuff like that. It made me draw myself being an idiot, so everybody can laugh. If somebody having a hard time. And we initially thought that it will last like I don't know. This is something from the movies. It will last for 2 or 3 months. China is very far. Macedonia is away from China. It will never come here. It came, like everywhere. And the first period was fun, but you're missing subjects to draw now. Luckily for us, we did have from cleaning the yard to one day while the curve view was on, we were playing with the ball in the yard. The ball went through the fence.
What do you do? What do you do?
What do you do? Because I'm relatively, I obey the laws. I like everything to be settled. That everybody is happy. That everybody is playing by the rules as for this situation to go away. But it was very fun because it was in the middle of the street, a couple of meters from the house, and I feel like a very big criminal doing that. I still do, because I don't know. Maybe cops will come and they will arrest me because I'm a bearded man going with shorts in the. I think that it was early spring that. March, it was around March. Not sure. We have to check the drawings, but it was fun in that time. But we were in the curfew for 2.5 months, and it's becoming. Well, there is a period when you grade with that. So it's good to be home. Finally, some peace. I can draw. I don't have to rush. My wife is home. She doesn't have to rush to go to the yoga stuff. But I would really not like to be a second part of the book. And again, I didn't want to be a book, but my wife mentioned it. Why don't you make it a book? I said, why not? And I was planning to self-publish it. But I was reminded that I'm a part of a publishing company here. As I told you, I only like to draw. When I'm usually in the when we are having some for the, when we get together and we talk about stuff, I usually watch the ceiling, and don't listen to the people speaking. We're having a conversation, and I have a lot of problems when we get on the project, and I didn't hear the stuff that what they're talking about. Again, I like to be an artist, and my friends said to me, "Oh, we have a publishing house. You should have it published by our house. It's our house, And yes, they did publish it. They make the web page of mine. You can buy it there. I hate being involved in publishing stuff because I don't want to do that, and I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do all this social thingy stuff, because again, I don't get a lot of mails. That's also part of the way I work. I usually get really short mail with stuff I have to draw. I don't like long mails. And the moment that the book was out, I got a lot of mails, a lot of messages. How should we order it? I tried to log in. I couldn't log in. There wasn't password. There was do you ship in America? Do you ship in Germany? And you are very brave people. Drawing is very easy. I draw goblins and monsters, but trying to be nice to everybody is really hard. It really sucks you right. If somebody in United States, Global Village, did bother to write you a mail or a message about your book on the other side of the globe, it's really decent for you to reply. And I'm very happy that a lot of people bought it, and everybody is sending me pictures and stuff. It's really nice, actually. I have it. Accidentally, I have it here.
Oh, look at that! I love it.
It's a hardcover. I'm not sure it's allowed to say it on camera, but I will say it. I insisted to be on the softer paper because I'm a funny guy, and that if we in the future or in the present get in some sort of unusual situation, you can use book for other things. There you go. But again, I insisted on a softer paper, that you can use for. This is hardcover with very glossy paper, and you will, if you use it for what we are thinking you will use it, you will have to squash it first, so the paper gets a little softer. And this is a book made for fun in relatively hard period for everybody on the planet.
Right.
And I like to keep it that way, funny, and not to do parts to really, really please people. I know it's stupid. I know it's. If I put mask on myself now, that's why I wear bandana, I will look extremely stupid. There is illustration from me there. I think if I find it, I can show it. Not sure about. Yes. But I look something like.
Very nice.
Yeah. And it's stupid, but if we all keep together, if we all go by some rules, I'm sure this will pass faster. Everybody will be healthier. Everybody will be alive, and finally we will meet in person. And I can bother you with my talking about the job and the art style and the drawings, and I will even draw you something when we finally meet on the conventions. I didn't like to travel, but I will travel now, definitely. So
we were supposed to meet in Essen this year, but that didn't happen.
Yes.
So next year.
My friends from the Final Frontier Guild Games, they finally managed to persuade me to come to the Essen, because we are a small country, everybody is friends, and they persuaded me this year to come to Essen, and I said yes, okay, why not? I will drink pills for flying and sleeping, and I will drink alcohol on the way to the airport because I'm afraid of planes. And yes, we will meet in Essen, but
next year.
I'll meet you next year, definitely.
There you go. So I always like to ask this at the end, is what advice would you give to somebody who is interested in art, and maybe either they feel the pressure that, art's not a real job, or they feel that they're not good enough? What kind of advice would you give to them?
It's not just for art, again, about the situation. We see how fragile we are, everybody, So you should really do stuff that makes you happy. You can make cars, you can make, toys, you can make machines. Do stuff that makes you happy, I was lucky because I draw all the time. So everybody that wants to do art has to understand you can be an artist persona, artist. I love this orange color. It's beautiful. It's exemplary of my love to ocean and stars and the big pain for the people inside that are brought together. But again, this is a profession that, again, as a plumber, you have something to do and it has to be done in some time frame. So it's a cliche a little, but you really, really, really have to work hard, and you really have, sadly, you really have to work every day. You will have to work in the days when you don't want to work. You have to work in the days when you want to sleep. You will have to work in the days when you want to do something else. The kids are out, the people are out, they are swimming, they are enjoying life, and you are stuck in drawing a game. But on the other side, you will go to a vacation, you will go to swimming, you will go out, and when the game comes out, you will see that a lot of people, you will bring joy to a lot of people based on the work and the sacrifice you have done in that period. So again, like every job, not just the art, you need to work a lot. You need to be a nice person, because again, when somebody likes your work and it's writing to you and it's commenting to you, it's really nice. When somebody says, I don't like likes, I don't do this for likes, do this for I don't know what, nobody's doing that for that. But again, it's very nice when somebody gives you a nice comment. It's very nice when somebody from United States, from France, from Sweden, I don't know where, takes a little of his time and write something to you or something like that. It's important to be a good person. It's important to work a lot, and it's important for you to expand your circle. If you have some sort of trouble with somebody, you cut loose. I don't want to work with you, or stuff like that. Again, do the stuff that you love.
Right.
Be a nice person. Work a lot, and this actually applies to everything. If you're a plumber, if you work a lot, if you're a nice person, everybody will call you. If you're cheap, also, So, and again, I'm going back to the start. When I was starting as an artist, it was really, really hard. I can't imagine working for a board game company in the United States. I can't imagine working for Marvel or DC Comics in that moment, because it was extremely hard to get to that point. You will have to have an address, you will have to have a nice photocopies, you will have to have nice originals, pack it nice, send it. You will have to have money to send it in that period in the United States, while now it's relatively easy. You can send mail, they will reply you. The only problem now is that there is a lot of artists.
Right.
So a lot of people will come there. So again, be nice and work a lot. I really don't know what to... and be funny, because that's the funny part is likable. They don't need to hug you in this moment. They will hug you in a few months, hopefully.
There you go. I think that's a great place to end this. So thank you so much for spending a little time with us. And there you go. Work hard and be nice. I don't think there's better advice out there right now. So thanks so much for taking some time out of your evening to chat with us. And I can't wait to see what you have coming next. So.
Me too, because I don't know what I will join. Probably Pink Pony.
There you go, Pink Pony, and I need to go order that book. So I'm going to go look you up on the website. I'll put that down below so everybody can see it.
So this is a rather profitable chat, I will say, for me.
There you go, right?
Thank you very much.
No problem. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.